Yeehaw! It's time for the Texans Squad, sponsored by Gametime. Everything Houston Texans, every week. Bringing you the big hits, game-changing plays, and all the action straight from the Lone Star State. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Saddle up and squad up. It's the Texans Squad Show, starting now.
And for the first time in the history of the Texans Squad Show on the Locked On Texans page, whether you're podcast or live on YouTube or later on YouTube, we can say this. It's game week. There's a football game to be played this week.
Woo!
And it feels good. It feels like all is right in the world, even if it's a preseason game. Yeah, they're going to be on the road, and you're going to see a lot of guys that aren't going to make this team. We have real football to talk about. Hello and welcome tonight. If you're with us live, I'm Michael Connor. That's John Hickman in the middle. That's Stan Norfleet on the other side of me. We're with you for the next hour talking all things Houston Texans. And for those of you that aren't aware, this show, we've been doing Tuesday, Friday for it. Now that we've transitioned into the season, the Friday show no longer exists because the next show will be following the game. It will be a post-game show. And we'll do that Saturday night after the Texans and Vikings get wrapped up. And Wade Smith, former Texans offensive lineman, will join us for the first time this season. He'll be with us live after the games this season. Looking forward to having Wade back. I was with him last year. It'll be a lot of fun to mix him in with you guys as well. So let's get right into it. I was going to say the Astros because I've got the Astros on one screen here because they're playing right now. The Texans are at the Greenbrier where they've been before up in West Virginia. It's got to be a lot nicer. I mean, I would assume it's cooler than it is here in Houston right now, but the scenery is a little bit different, and they're getting ready for the weekend against the Vikings. And I think the biggest thing that's come out of there, we're going to get through today's practice here in a bit. But obviously, the offensive line, as we typically do, guys, is the number one storyline with this team because they've gone up there and they've had a little bit of an issue when it came to Cam Robinson. And now they're kind of shuffling. They're always going to be shuffling things around. But what are we thinking about the Texans' offensive line based off of what we've heard so far out of the Greenbrier?
I mean, they had a better day Tuesday compared to Monday. They were able to, according to reports from guys like John Alexander, DJ Bieniemy, Cody Stutes is out there, Landry Locker is out there. So reports from traveling media that cover the Houston Texans. Nick Chubb had a better day, so you can only assume that the offensive line had a better day. Remember, DJ Bieniemy said that on one of his tweets, Nick Chubb had a long run for almost 30 yards, if not more than that. That's encouraging. You don't necessarily get those a lot of time without having good offensive line playing protection. Will Anderson was still game-wrecking on the day. The offensive line right now, I think, is where we thought it would be. Going into their first preseason game, still trying to figure it out, having some good moments, having some moments where we may still have some concern. That's not necessarily the biggest concern for me right now, and I want to wait to get into that. But I think that they are still, from a coaching standpoint, learning things, figuring it out. Cole Popovich, Aaron Wilson recorded and put out there a video of an offensive line coaching session where Cole Popovich was extremely active in what he was looking for, and those guys are going out there to perform to the best of their ability. As we see, Jake Andrews is out there running with the ones at center. Stan and I have gone back and forth on that on this show. Listen, I think he just provides more in the run game than Jared Patterson, and that big run on the day was with the first-team offensive line. So I think that right now, optimistically speaking, they are in a space where they have a base on where they are now and where they need to get to. No Cam Robinson out there will probably make it a little bit difficult in terms of having some cohesiveness and consistency, but it is what it is right now. I say all that to say that. It is what it is right now.
Well, the way they ran out the ones today, and for people that don't understand necessarily how an NFL practice is structured, when you hear the starting group, there are different periods, different sessions, and John is accurate in that it was a different configuration. Andrews is still splitting reps with Patterson at center, but no doubt about it, Andrews has had the majority of those first-team reps. Because left tackle Cam Robinson is out, he was at practice, leg sleeve seen. He kind of had some sweats off to the side, so no action for him today. we'll get into some bodies that were back moving around a little bit today or available to move around here in a little bit. But the offensive line from left to right, Ariante Ursery goes to left. Of course, Laken Tomlinson at his left guard position. The Andrews/Patterson at center. Right guard, Juice Scruggs took some first-team reps in certain sessions, but Ed Ingram was also in there with the first team at other sessions. And into the right tackle, you get Titus Howard kick back out for the second day, given Cam Robinson went down yesterday. So offensive line will continue to be in flux. To your point, I will echo, John, I'm dubbing today the Nick Chubb practice. This was the most efficient. This was the most pop and sizzle we've seen, not just from Nick Chubb. Daria Gumbawale had some quality runs. Woody Marks continued to do some positive things in the run game. D'Amico spoke either yesterday or today about Jawad Jordan. So it was kind of running back by committee. And I come back to you. I know there was a big brouhaha, and we'll talk about the fisticuffs that happened. But to me today, of how the offense got their doors blown off yesterday, they got flat out pumped. They got intimidated. Azeez Alshire and C.J. Gardner-Johnson literally taunting C.J. in the offense, given the amount of turnovers. And I want to talk about that too from the quarterback spot. But I wanted to see the offense respond with an urgency and an energy. And the way they did that, and I believe it was scripted, D'Amico Ryans and Nick Caley decided, you know what, the hell with that. We're going to be a physical football team. We're going to ask each man to tap the left side of his chest. We're going to be physical in the run game, and we're going to combat some of that energy from the defense. We're being physical in the run game, and they didn't win today. I want to be clear. The offense didn't win today.
It was a better day.
Better.
Honestly, is the offense ever going to win a day against this defense?
I think we need to see them win a day.
They won one day. They won last Wednesday.
That's one day.
I think so. There was a day where they were extremely good in the red zone. This is the day where Jaden Higgins got in on the action, and they looked to be during that practice, they were a much more efficient offense. But I do think, man, while they are away in Greenbrier, Stan and I, we was on KHOU, Stan and Louise, and they asked us, what are we looking forward to during this trip? Consistency, cohesiveness, competition. But they need a day where they win. I mean, this is the league. Grown men are playing against other grown men. But the Texans defense is only going to get them ready for all of the adversity they're going to face in the regular season. So they got to get a day on these guys. They got to get a dub. They got to walk out of practice feeling like, okay, not only did we beat a top 5 defense, but we also got ourselves together. And that's what I'm looking forward to right now. Before that preseason game, I want to have a day where we're seeing reports on a scale of 1 to 10. The Texans were 60-40 on the day, the 70-30 on the day in terms of the offensively, they had the better day compared to the defense because they've been getting whooped up on a lot.
I almost wonder, like, at this point, is it just wishful thinking? Because we keep seeing it happen over and over. I know that you can get better, you can progress, and they better be getting ready, be getting better and progressing and everything. But like, it's what were we, week 2 of camp now? Like, at some point, I don't want to get to. I don't know. John, you weren't here with us on Friday. I blamed you guys on it, or I really blamed Stan on it the other day. But you guys are starting to freak me out, man. I'm starting to think maybe I've predicted too many wins for this football team. I've done all these things, and then I go read all these reports, and then all these things that are said. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about him anymore.
MC, you know what, man? Cody Davis used to do the show with me on Locked On. Before he went to Detroit, which is where he is now, we were covering the training camp session of last year. And for about 7 or 8 shows in a row, he would come on and say, well, the defense won the day again. And this was a consistent message from him. Why it is concerning is kind of the same thing this year. And we saw how last year ended. We saw the offensive woes, and we saw how the offensive woes eventually held this team back. And so for Houston, they have to get over that because it's going to put us in the place of, we know that y'all are going to be good enough to win some of these lower level achievements. And it's not necessarily lower levels. This is the NFL. Every achievement is big. but you're going to be good enough for the AFC South. You know you're going to be good enough for maybe a divisional win, but enough's enough. Everybody else in the AFC South made a championship appearance. When are y'all going to do it? To be fair, they're in the early stages of learning a lot of these things, new players and new offense and whatever, but I want them to have a day where we get on this show and we say, man, y'all read the reports from the offense today? CJ didn't have turnover. CJ was connected. Balls were coming out quickly. The defense was getting beat to their spots quicker, and guys were able to make plays to get up the field. I think that's important to see.
Yeah, John and I are diametrically opposed in terms of, and it's not just John. I'm just having some fun. Like I said, we were on KHOU Channel 11 here in Houston having a good time. And look, everybody in NFL is running the same things by and large, right? Cover 4 in New England is cover 4 in Jacksonville, is cover 4 in Los Angeles, is cover 4 in Seattle. Like at some point, there are enough veterans on this offense. Nico Collins seen a lot of ball. Christian Kirk, C.J. Stroud's got a lot of starts under his belt. You know, Laken Tomlinson. Now, I know Ken Robinson is out given the injury, but I'm just saying, like, at some point, of course, Titus, Dalton Schultz has seen a lot of football. Like, at some point, we got to stop with the newness. Now, I understand it's a factor. What I'm saying is the newness should not be as big of a discrepancy as it is right now. And I also want to bring this thought to the conversation because I've seen some of the wee bit sensitive ones in Texans Twitter. Love y'all. And MC, I'm going to say this to you. It's okay to digest the information that is coming from those that you trust to disseminate it. You're not a bad fan if you take new information and recalibrate or readjust your prediction. That's what wise people should do. You have new information. But I just want to pose this for an idea. It sounds like the Astros MC, the It's Too Early crowd. You know, that crowd exists over there.
Every
the
sport.
Texans apparently have a It's Too Early. Not just because it's training camp, not just because CJ will be fine, not just because in Nick Cayley we trust because of who he coached under, but it is too early because the defense is always ahead of the offense. Newsflash, the offense does get better as the year progresses, but so does the defense. Has anybody thought about that? These headhunters over here are going to get more in sync, and they're going to have a different vibe when they get in the form. They're doing this without Christian Harris, without Danico Archer, without Polo Fatakasi. They're going to get better.
I hope you're right. But you know what? Just because you're saying all this too, I'm just going to go ahead. You've taught me back onto the ledge. I'm going back to my 12-5 prediction. I've got no problem with it. Probably going to be a Super Bowl team.
Oh, you know what, MC? Thank you for being the voice of the fan base.
You're welcome.
I'm not going to say of reason. I don't think that's based off of what we've seen. It's not reasonable, but we cannot downplay the preseason game. And we damn sure can't downplay these joint practices. I've said that from the beginning, especially considering the Houston Texans didn't get that extra week like they got last year because they was in the Hall of Fame game. D'Amico Ryans even said it today on in his post-practice press conference. Guys are ready to hit somebody else, so the chippiness is gonna come with it. It's time. So Saturday we're gonna get that first little, get into the swing of things of being able to hit somebody else. But those joint practices will also help tell a lot because the amount of interceptions and turnovers we've seen from C.J. Stroud in practice right now, he going up against an elite defense. Kamar Lassiter, listen, we ain't talking about Derek Stingley because not only is he quiet, he don't get tried a lot. Kamar Lassiter and Kalen Bullock, but those two guys have had some amazing camp practices. So, okay, maybe you can make an excuse for C.J. in these turnovers. And you can't make too many, but when he goes up against other defenses, those turnovers, I think, will start to hold more weight, in my opinion, if they continue to be consistent.
And we'll spend some more time on CJ and his turnovers in just a bit because I know I think it's a broader topic just in general based off of how we're feeling on him this season. Let's talk a little bit more about today's camp. We didn't even get to the guys that are coming back. We could do that here in just a brief second. And how else, the little brouhaha that spilled out there at camp. We'll talk about it. Locked on Texans Squad Show. Well, you know what time of year it is? It's football time. And this episode is presented to you by Yahoo Fantasy. It's the best time of the year. The NFL kickoff is almost here, and that means fantasy football is back in full swing. This year, Yahoo Fantasy is turning things up with a fantasy football experience like never before. It's awesome to use. They have great updates they're rolling out this month that are absolutely wild in the best way. One of my favorite features is the new Guillotine Leagues. They just dropped. Every week, the lowest scoring team is eliminated, and the last one standing wins. Whether you're all in on something new or you like sticking to head-to-head leagues or jumping into public leagues, Yahoo's got you covered. To celebrate 28 years of fantasy football greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days throughout August. To kick it off, they just dropped Yahoo Fantasy Guillotine Leagues, a new killer way to play fantasy football on Yahoo, where the lowest scoring team gets eliminated each week until there's one team left standing. With the season around the corner, now's the time to get your league together and give this new mode a try. If you're more into the classics, you can stay in the head-to-head private leagues or join the public leagues. Stay tuned for more killer announcements and start playing Yahoo Fantasy Football now at yahoofantasyfootball.com, yahoofantasy.com/lockedonNFL. Squad Show Tuesday. I'm Michael Connor. John Hickman there. Stan Norfleet. Of course, we're with you Tuesdays and now after every game moving forward, except for the week that there is a bye week. We'll be back to our, I would assume, Tuesday, Friday. Whatever we just, you know what, we make the schedule on that one. It'll probably be Tuesday, Friday that week. It does come a little bit earlier this season, but we got the first game this weekend in terms of preseason play. The Vikings coming up. We'll take a look at some things or discuss some things in a little while, maybe that we're going to be looking for in that matchup specifically this weekend when we wrap up the show tonight. We're going to get to C.J. Stroud and the turnovers here in just a bit. But the other things from practice that we have not touched on, guys, obviously mentioned it. There was a little bit of a scuffle. John, maybe you said it there towards the end. I don't have much of an issue. We'll get to the guys that return here in a second. I don't have much of an issue of, a little bit of spiciness to practice, a little bit of spiciness, like you guys mentioned. When you're going at each other all the time, you're eventually going to get on each other's nerves, and that always happens in football. So I don't think that if anybody's got a problem with it, I think that they've got something wrong with them. You guys, I've
seen my quarterback. This is in high school, of course. My quarterback got cracked back one time. This is in 2 days. This is the quarterback of the. They purposely cracked back. He was talking too much, and the defense felt like they were allowing him to go through progressions and reads, and he couldn't get hit. So he got to talking too much and broke out the pocket, and they got him. So, it happens. It's football. We can't forget that aspect of it. Things do happen. Fights do happen in the game. But teammates, you shake it off, get back to another play.
Well, as a man that has put on that helmet on defense a couple times, I can tell you that I've been a part of practice and training camp fights. I have absolutely broken my fair share up. There is some positive, as long as it's going to sound counterproductive, but there is a positive way to fight your own team. You know what I mean? It's like fighting a sibling. Certain things are just low blow, you don't do that. Same type of thing out here. What I wanted to see, and it took whatever the practice was today, practice 10 or 11, it took this long for the first one to happen. There was a mini dust up, but I wanted to see when it happened, because it is inevitable, who was it going to be? Now, the first one, it was, and I want to make sure that I elocute this properly. I wanted to see who was going to lead the charge. CJ and that offense struggled yesterday. It's well documented. And I was very vocal, at least on social media. Where was Nico? Where was Titus? Where was Dalton Schultz to get Azeez Al-Shaair and CJ Gardner-Johnson out of CJ's face? Somebody had to say enough is a damn enough. And today, that somebody, the first one, was Cade Stover. Cade Stover didn't appreciate something from C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He let him know about it. In his second year, country boy, straight off the farm in Ohio, Cade Stover said, it's not going down like that. At some point, you have to stand on your manhood. And I guarantee you, D'Amico Ryans was happy to see the offense and defense getting into it. That was the what they call it, the undercard. And then you get the real one where Dalton Schultz is going to the ground. And here comes trying to make the team Russ Yeast, the safety, comes in there with a shoulder, Dalton didn't appreciate it. He gets up, he throws the ball at him, and then Dalton literally runs over and tackles the man. So then the melee ensues. It shortly thereafter gets broken up. But, like, to me, that's the frustration because the offense knows they've been getting dominated. And at some point, you got to reach down there and grab your stones and man up. So I was glad to see that it happened. And it was respectful. No punches thrown. Nobody was thrown out of practice. So it was a controlled rage, which is a good sign.
The offense has just been like if I can kind of wrap up, what I would kind of link how the offense has been getting whooped on, compared it to, it would be my grandmama gave me that chain. I'm gonna just tuck mine in. I'm gonna just tuck mine in. What about when he jumped his backyard? Like, it's just been like that for the offense, and to see them have an early stage, an early moment of not today, not this Friday, we're not gonna let this happen. So, do I think that they'll continue with fights in terms of throwing blows? No, but the hope is
joint practices. There might be. We all know that.
No, I'm okay with that. And you know what? That's cool, because I think the Texans may have the most memorable joint practice moment in NFL history, at least
talking about the Hopkins.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're never going to see something so perfectly lined up like that. They beef, and then he routes him up and he tears ACL. But do we want to see more fights? I'm not going to say yes or no to that, but they got to do whatever it takes to get themselves going. And again, if that's going to light a fire underneath you, do it as much as possible within reason, to have that extra energy to go out there and say, y'all not going to whoop up on us today. We got some haymakers. We got some counter punches that we're going to throw back, because we realize that we cannot be the weak link on this team. And they've been
DeMeco shouldn't call off the dogs either. See, you got to understand, again, just trying to help people some insight. I worked for and covered 5 different NFL teams. I have a pretty good understanding of how the league works from a day-to-day practice field standpoint. You both have been in the media for a while. You know how this goes. DeMeco can script or make a call. Basically, the coaches can make the offense win if they want to. What I'm asking DeMeco, don't feel sorry for him. Now, DeMeco's going to say, well, damn, Stan, sometime I got to take – Will Anderson may have to come off the field, because when him and Danielle Hunter are out there, I can't practice because Ursa is getting baptism by fire. And with Blake Fisher's in the practice, or you got some other guys, Ed Ingram or Juice Scruggs in at guard, I may not be able to execute this thing. And it's a balance, because you want the offense to have some confidence. I think for where this team is trying to get to, the AFC title game, don't do it. Make them earn every inch. Make them go inside of that chest cavity and go put their heart out there and have to fight uphill. I believe in that. And it starts with C.J. Stroud. I want to see, does he have his emotions in control? I want to see, can C.J., every quarterback in the league can play from ahead. I want to see C.J. keep his poise and lead his men. And what do you call it when you have to matriculate your way down the field? I want to see, inch by inch, can they have the consistency and poise and the stack drives, stack plays, and ultimately put some points on the board, especially after CJ turning the ball over. So I hope DeMeco doesn't call the dogs off, and CJ has to be better. I have some more comments about CJ Stroud's performance here in just a little bit.
Again, hopefully not have drives where they go down there and stall out like they'd love to do last year and kick 50-yard field goals constantly. That's my biggest hope for this year. I don't want to see any 50-yard field goals this weekend either. No thanks.
Can I also say this? I'm sorry. Like, the notion that the Texans defense is going to be one of the best in the league, and I think it is. But that offense has to understand, we're going to have to score. And the Texans might be among the top, but the Texans' offense last year also struggled with some of the more average outside of the top 10 defenses. So what I'm saying is there is no rest for the weary. Kansas City is still on the roster, on the schedule, right? Still
Baltimore's still on the schedule.
Baltimore is on the schedule. Detroit is on the schedule. There's no rest for the weary. You have to go in the National Football League. So when I hear the fan base say, oh, we've got time, I'm like, no, you don't have time. Kansas City, what is their offense doing? They got continuity on offense. So does Baltimore. So does Buffalo. So does Cincinnati. Time is not an ally of the Houston Texans right now.
It's definitely not.
Point, the Texans were ranked 8th in the NFL in punts per game. So you are right. The defense can be great as all outdoors, but if they ain't putting them no points or they're just settling for 3 consistently, we're gonna have the same song. We're gonna keep singing. It's just gonna be the remix.
Let's hope not. Some of the guys that got back out there, now they weren't in individual or weren't in team practices or whatever, but you see Christian Harris and Dameon Pierce back in the uniforms, guys. How significant, obviously, is I think I'm not trying to put Dameon Pierce down. We know that Stan, you're a big Dameon Pierce guy.
I'm cheering for him.
I think the Christian Harris one's a lot bigger than the Dameon Pierce one, even though the Dameon Pierce one matters because you don't have Joe Mixon. I just expect other guys to get more run than him. So, what do we think about those two getting back here? And if you guys disagree with my thought on which one's more important than the other.
I mean, listen, I think Christian Harris is very important for this team altogether. Dameon Pierce coming back is important. And one thing that I like from D'Amico Ryans, D'Amico is he does a very good job of being a player coach because he linked Dameon Pierce to having that home run hitting ability, which we've seen Dameon Pierce do before when he got the opportunities and carries last year, mainly to close out the year, nearly rushed for 200 yards. So that's important. Do we believe that Dameon Pierce will be in a more favorable scheme this year compared to the zone run scheme? I think, yes, we do. So I think it's important that you get Dameon Pierce back for a couple of reasons. Number one, Nick Chubb should absolutely get some good carries on Saturday. Next week, by the time of next week, we'll know what Nick Chubb will look like. So that maybe you start to focus a little bit more on Dameon Pierce splitting reps with the ones, or maybe just getting those reps with the ones altogether. Then also, you also can figure out whether or not it makes sense to even keep Dameon Pierce. Woody Marks, I think, has done a very good job this training camp in creating the buzz for himself. Even Jawar Jordan, those two young men. So
what?
I'm not saying what I am saying is, has Woody Marks not done a good job this training camp? I think
no. Go back to the part about releasing Dameon Pierce.
Does it make sense to keep Dameon and Nick Chubb?
Yes.
I disagree.
With the injuries that are going around that backfield, you can't count on Nick Chubb. You can't count on Nick Chubb to stay healthy. You can't count on Joe Mixon to stay healthy.
And that's why I think when you look at what Woody Marks has been able to do in training camp, you get a good assessment of all of these guys by the time you get to week 1. No doubt about that. It also can give Houston an opportunity to look and see if they want to search outside the building. Maybe if Devin Singletary wants to come on back to Houston, I don't know. But having all of those guys available, you'll learn who's going to be the best relief running back for Joe Mixon, because whenever he does return, you still want to make sure that you're able to kind of take some of the load off of him
for sure
and figure out what the future looks like for that backfield. So I like that Dameon is back because now you get a full and fair assessment of the running back room.
Yeah, Dameon Pierce was dealing with that quad, and I echo exactly what you said, John, pertaining to he's the back there that has the home run ability. That's not Dare's foray. He's a better running back than Dare. All right, so really you're talking about rookie Woody Marks versus Dameon Pierce, who was hovering around 1,000 yards, we know, going all the way back to that 2022 season.
His rookie year, right? Yeah.
His rookie year, correct. So perhaps a change in scheme, change in offensive philosophy. I've always felt that Dameon Pierce was a volume back. Some guys, if they get 3 carries in a quarter, they just can't get in rhythm. Some guys can get in there for 1 carry and they ready to go. So I cannot count on Nick Chubb, though I do cheer for him, and I do think there's a role as a down-here bruiser for this squad. But there is no one over there, in my eyes, that is the complete skill set of what we've seen from Dameon Pierce, who can also be a receiving threat out of the backfield as well. Shows up in pass pro, and again, the home run ability, we know he can get from 0 to 100 real quick. So I do like that piece. MC, I appreciate your question. Of the 2 guys that were in pads today, Dameon Pierce or Christian Harris, to me, the more important would be Dameon Pierce for all the reasons that we just pontificated. Is Christian Harris the better player? Yes. But I saw this team win a ton of games last year without Christian Harris. I also know that this team has a guy in EJ Speed that has been making plays. EJ Speed had an interception either yesterday or today. They start to run together even when you're covering the team. So EJ Speed has improved his coverage with some question coming over from the Indianapolis Colts. So I think they're fine, and they can work it out on defense not having Harris. Damian Pierce not being in that mix, and you're talking about guys that injury bug going around that running back room, I get very apprehensive about trusting Woody Marks to be a critical piece of this team's run game, given that we're trying to get to a Super Bowl this year.
Oh, we know this. Running backs are always going to get hurt. So somebody's going to get hurt at some point this year. So I guess it's never too bad to have too many of them. You already got one of them hurt as it is right now. Let's talk about the turnovers now. I know that Stan's got a concern with turnovers in camp. We'll talk about them here in a second on the Locked On Texans Squad show. Right now, though, I want to tell you guys about your money. Who doesn't want to talk about money? That's right. Let's talk about some money with Monarch Money. You ever wish that managing your money felt easier overall? Yeah, with Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth. I sit down with my wife at the end of every month, and we get together with our finances. The best thing about Monarch Money is that you can get all of the accounts in one place and see what's there, and you don't have to go all over the place to do it. It's a great, great tool. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year. It's the Texan Squad show as we are 30 minutes closer to game time because we've done 30 minutes of this show. You like how I did that there? It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I cannot wait for Saturday afternoon. Is it on ABC this Saturday? Typical ABC broadcast?
Is it not KHOU, Channel 11, 3 o'clock?
It's usually ABC. It's usually ABC and it's
NFL Network.
Oh, NFL Network this weekend? Okay. Well, that's good to know. I figured it was just, the normal broadcast with was it Andrew Catalan and our buddy Indy Kalu?
Kalu's going to be on coverage.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to hearing Indy out there.
If any diehard Texan fans want to travel to the game, they got tickets right now as low as $14.
Whoa there. Whoa. Now we're talking. Minnesota's not a bad spot right now. It's all right. It's not cold yet. It's the time to go. Don't go when it's cold. Trust me. Somebody that's been there when it's 4 degrees outside for a
I hear it's beautiful, but I'm good on going up there. Remember that Super Bowl they had up there when they
I was there.
That new stadium? I'm good.
Yeah, no, I had a great time. I got kicked off Radio Road after day one because of a loud person that we worked with at the sports station that we used to work at. Stan, that was far before you got there. It was a good thing you missed out on that guy.
Are we gonna get?
Oh yeah, I got pulled off Radio Row with everybody else by NFL security, thanks to somebody that we worked with getting into a fight with another local radio station because we weren't assigned to tape. It was a whole thing, man. Literally got pulled out by NFL security. So yeah. There's that.
Oh, I remember that now.
There won't be any of that this weekend, I would hope, for anybody up there. But let's talk about CJ. CJ has, unfortunately, had some documented turnovers. Yeah. There's been a lot of them. And I know that I say a lot of them in camp. Again, like we've mentioned, he is playing the Texans defense, which has what is the Texans defense? Just the defensive backfield has got to be what, top 3 at worst in the league? At worst, top 3. Okay.
At worst.
Yeah.
How concerned are we that we keep seeing, he turned the ball over here, he turned the ball over there? Stan, go ahead and tell us what's wrong.
Well, to be fair, I'm not there every day, so I can't get into the specifics. Here's what I can tell you overall as a qualifier. We've seen quarterbacks get broken, and we've seen more talented quarterbacks than CJ get broken. I'll give you one in this division. His name was Andrew Luck. He was a better prospect and a better player than C.J. Stroud, and they hit his ass out of the league. I hope that doesn't happen to C.J., but we can't ignore that C.J. Stroud last year took a step back. I know there are those that believe when you add up all the stuff, Bobby Sloyd, the offensive line. By the way, Chris Strauss, the offensive line coach, is in the Houston Chronicle, did a feature with I think it was Matt Young. He says Larry Tunsil was not the root of all their problems, but we'll get to that another time. I cheer for CJ. I hope they are able to instill more confidence. I hope CJ's mechanics improve. CJ did a sit down today with, I think that was Aaron Washburn of CBS Sports HQ. He had a lot of good things to say about how he's living his life, how he is focused in on this season, celebrating the small wins. I was happy that CJ this year quieted down from that was an off season ago. That was a bit noisy. Brother traveled a little much, and he seems to have found, a ritual and a regiment, the word I'm trying to find, that is more suitable for being a franchise quarterback with expectations. And that's what CJ must understand. The expectation is to take this franchise and this offense to heights that they have never seen. To do that, CJ cannot turn the ball over, hold on to the ball, have poor footwork, and overthrow receivers, which he has done consistently during this training camp. Now, I'm not going to say sound the alarm, and I'm certainly not ready to give up on C.J. Stroud. I'm just asking the fan base to be mindful that there's still some work to do, even for C.J. Stroud. And last part, some people will say, oh, well, you're supposed to get turnovers in training camp. You're trying new things. MC, they want to believe, like the pitchers, that you go into a game and you go into a practice and I'm just going to work on my sweeper today. That's it. This isn't Sugar Land. We're trying to get to the bleeping Super Bowl. You don't have time to be working on your.
You mean CJ doesn't need to be doing the he doesn't have one practice where he just goes out and does Uncle Rico throws and throws Sion the whole time?
He had some of those practices where he was doing Uncle Rico tosses. Good reference, by the way.
My usual hater, Eric Ashton, is over here in the comments. How did CJ take a step back when his numbers were almost identical to his rookie year? I don't know what data you're looking at. Put that in the chat. I saw the touchdowns and interceptions were drastically different, but we'll get to that another time. But in seriousness, the notion that it's okay for a quarter. Do you think Mahomes is in Kansas City doing an interception a day? Is Lamar doing an interception a day? Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, are they doing an interception a day? Because that's what CJ is averaging.
They may be. We don't know. We're not. That may be kind of unfair because we don't know.
What? Okay. I'll stop. Go ahead.
I don't. That's not to be contrary. I'm just saying. Because I get your point, like the upper echelons of quarterbacks, and I get it. But do we definitively know if they're throwing a pick or not? Now, I will say that I liked his CBS interview. There was something that he said that I don't want to say is alarming or whatever, but he mentioned that he's been watching a ton of old Patriots film. But what I really found interesting was he said that they were in it for so long. It's year one, referring to himself in this offense. We're not going to be at that level yet, but we're closer every day. That does signal – how's the best way I can put this? I'm not there yet, y'all. I'm not there yet. And we tagged the Tom Brady next to CJ. It got hotter when Nick Caley got to Houston. But, just him mentioning that I'm watching old tape. We're not there yet. Those guys had multiple years to get it right and get it together. And for some of those guys, you look at Gronk, you look at Jules, by the time that they got to the league, Tom Brady was already in some sort Tom Brady. So I think he is looking at it and saying, I am not there yet. Now, in terms of the multiple interception practices that we've heard and seen from C.J. Stroud, is it discouraging? I am still on the line of I don't care yet. I got to see preseason. But can the Houston Texans offense win a day if their starting quarterback didn't have a good day? If I say things like I want to see the offense have a day where we read reports, we see videos that this was the day the offense got the advantage over the defense. As great as Davis Mills has been playing,
yeah,
I'm so sick of seeing Davis Mills highlights on or Twitter.
Does it matter?
Davis Mills dropping
It's like
BDs
they got all these great videos of great catches in practice, and it's Davis Mills throwing all. I'm like, why?
Or Graham Mertz.
Yeah,
But-
I don't want to see. I don't want to see another thing. All I want to see them is throw in the preseason. I don't need to see them at practice.
Now, hold on. To be fair, all three quarterbacks ended Monday's practice throwing interceptions back to back to back in the 2-minute drill in the red zone. So
I think
it's enough to go around.
No, it is, but the offense can have a good day before game one of the preseason period, but if it doesn't come by C.J. Stroud as a starting quarterback, I would say how much of a win is that? Because we have to expect that C.J. is going to be the starter for the 17-game regular season in the playoff berth if Houston gets there. So, though I'm not ready to just sound the alarms yet because of the interceptions, and I get it in practice, this is a lot. And another reason why I want to point that quote out was because I do believe that C.J. Stroud is going through so much mentally in terms of reads. He also mentioned he's an instinctual quarterback. So learning what some of these guys are supposed to be, their spots. I think that maybe he's just kind of throwing some of these passes to get the ball where it needs to be. That's a BS excuse. I can understand that. But, yeah, some of these interceptions have become a little bit alarming, but I'm not scared yet.
Kamari Lassiter with 2 picks of C.J. Stroud today. And I just want to add this. Lord have mercy. I'm reading the comments over here. Eric, the Kansas City Chiefs have changed offensive coordinators. So have the Baltimore Ravens. So have the Buffalo Bills. Good quarterbacks, the upper echelon quarterbacks, go through change and they still perform at an elite level. Go do your homework when you're coming over here. Okay, that's it. Now, I do appreciate, who was that other one up there? Somebody else up there. Was it, who was up there? J-Rock something. Let me go back up here. Shorty Rock 39. I hate staying in a good way because he gives some awesome points. He gives you the reality of the situations and don't hold back. Love this cast. Appreciate you, Shorty Rock 39. So I've also seen in the comments, and I was going to ask you guys about this, and MC, forgive me, I know we need to get a break in here. The people keep saying over here, oh, the offense can score 21 points. We'll be okay. Let's look at some math.
Not any more than that.
2023, the Houston Texans offense, 13th in the league, 22.7 points per game, 13th. Does anybody remember the playoff game in Baltimore? I do. Not close, wasn't good enough. 2024, the Houston Texans went backwards by nearly a point, down to a flat 22 points per game. 18th in the league. Doing some quick math, the 32 teams, that is below average. Didn't think they scored enough in Kansas City. Stan, how do you know that? Because when the horn sounded, Kansas City had more points, thus they won. 21 points per game is not enough for this team to get to an AFC title game.
What's top 5? Do you have that in front of you? What's 5th place?
So last year, Detroit 33, Buffalo 30, Baltimore 30, Tampa 29, Philadelphia 29, the Super Bowl champions.
So basically, to be elite, you need at least 28 a game. You got to be averaging about 4 touchdowns a game somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
you need to. Yeah.
Can they beat that?
In Washington with another defensive-minded head coach in Dan Quinn, who prior to Jay Daniels having this year, C.J. Stroud had arguably the best rookie year of a quarterback in NFL history. Jay Daniels goes to Washington, 28.8 points per game. 21 is not enough.
Really quick, man, because when we say some of these rookie seasons, do we just forget? This is just football talking. Did we forget about Cam and RG3 and Andrew Luck's rookie years?
RG3 was great.
I was there for Cam's year.
But
statistically, those men didn't accomplish some of what C.J. Stroud accomplished last year. The touchdown, the interception.
RG3 did.
RG3 went to the playoffs, didn't he? His rookie year?
Yeah, he won him a game.
So there are only 2 other quarterbacks, their first 2 years in the league, that have playoff wins under their belt. It's Joe Flacco and Harbaugh in Baltimore, and it's Sanchez and Rex Ryan with the Jets. So CJ's in
Russell Wilson not a part of that?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought Russ was
Not two
Russ
playoff
has
wins.
Okay. I'm sorry.
They made the postseason. I don't think they wanted that playoff game Russ's first year.
Okay.
I'm going off the top of my head.
Well, CJ's going to throw 3 interceptions this year and lead the Texans to a 14-win season and then the AFC Championship game at the minimum. So there's that.
I hope that you are accurate.
I'm just going to keep digging into it. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's look ahead to this weekend, what we're looking for, guys, because you're actually playing football. Let's talk about things that we want to see on the field in an actual game against another team. We'll do that here in a brief second. Locked on Texan Squad Show. So Squad Show Tuesday. Thank you for joining us on this live edition. If you're here with us live, if you're watching later on, of course, we appreciate that. Make sure you're checking out John with the daily Locked on Texans podcast, and make sure you join us this Saturday. We're going to go as quickly as we can after the game ends. That final second clicks off. We're going to go pretty soon after that and break down what we see out there on the field between the Houston Texans and the Minnesota Vikings this weekend in the first preseason game. 3 preseason games, 2 of them on the road for the Texans. They will play this week at Minnesota. They will finish the preseason at Detroit. Sandwiched between there, they'll have the Carolina Panthers into town for what I would imagine will be a very easy week for them.
Yeah, right. my Carolina brethren, the Charlotte teams pulling up on H-Town.
I can't believe.
Can you guys imagine if? Can you imagine this fan base if Bryce Young has a better season than CJ Stroud this year?
Stop it.
Just imagine the fan base.
A better game. You said a better season. Woo. If Bryce Young has a better season than CJ,
because he closed out 24 great.
His roster looks, then yeah, we're gonna have to sound the alarm on some things for sure.
That if that happens to me, the reason that happens or anything else is that CJ Stroud got his head knocked off again all year. Like
that's still another reason to be upset. They mishandled another offensive line search.
Yeah, that'd be a big problem.
Can I say this again? And I know we need to get to Minnesota. But I just need the folks, shout out, I think that's Letitia Bruton over there in the comments. Appreciate you, ma'am. She got the H's up supporting the Texas Squad Show. Thank you for doing such. There was somebody else in there. Y'all calm down. They're going against one of the top defenses. Who did I say this to? Somebody was saying it, and it was on social media. They were like, Stan, I don't want to believe the facts that I know you are giving us about what the Texans have actually done. So I'm going to say this again, because I apparently am the only one that will say it. No disrespect to any of our brethren in the media, but it needs to be said. So damn it, I'm going to say it. And that's why y'all follow Stan Sportsman. Look, the bottom line is this. The Houston Texans and the way they are constructed, love D'Amico Ryans. Caserio has done some nice things. He's mostly done a good job. This offensive line is an issue. So never before in the modern NFL can you find me a Super Bowl champion example of a defensive-minded head coach, a first-time play caller as an offensive coordinator, a first-time offensive line coach, a rookie quarterback, meaning a quarterback on his rookie deal, and all 5 positions on the offensive line are in new places, and not a single one of those 5 is considered a stud in the league. Find me an example where that has worked. Oh, then 2 of your top 4 weapons are rookies, 2nd and 3rd round picks. It is a formula that is worth some questioning. Now, I'm not the good Lord. It may work out. It may be a progressive thought, go against the grain, and it works, and D'Amico and Caserio are geniuses. There's also a world where this doesn't work.
They think they're the new Patriots. That's what they think.
That was 25 years ago.
They think that's what they're going to be.
Well, not quite 25. It was 22 years ago. The football has changed. The rules have changed. The roster management has changed. The valuation of the franchise and the quarterback position has changed.
They're probably not out there cheating like the Patriots.
I'm going to go win a championship solely on my defense. It's a bad idea.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay.
That's a good rant.
Yeah, it was good.
Appreciate that. I had to get that out.
Hopefully you won't have anything to rant about after this weekend. there's always going to be some things in the game that you see that you don't like.
I prefer a Stan rant after the game, good or bad. So hopefully there are some things that he's going to rant about.
He'll find some. That's
always he'll find some.
Yeah,
Stan will say. Now, granted, he'll list all of the good things. He'll lay them out on the table. Then he'll come back. But and that's when that concern is going to come out. It's going to be some good football talk, of course, followed by. But he's going to find something to critique and be better at for a team that he covers, which you got to respect.
Yeah. So when they get to the action this weekend, again, 3:15 for the kickoff? 3 o'clock, just 3 o'clock this weekend. So in that 6 to 6:30 range for when we'll get started. For those of you wondering, by the way, it'll probably be right around there. Is there one thing specifically over everything else that you're looking at and saying, I want to see this week? Now, we know that the Vikings, Stan, you mentioned it earlier, they're going to roll with McCarthy. Sounds like he's going to play a lot. This is obviously a guy who missed his rookie year and needs to. We don't have an idea completely yet, right, of the Texans' plans on all this, like who's playing there, how much they're playing.
I haven't heard anybody say anything.
I would like to see him play multiple series. I think we're seeing this in other teams. I think it's interesting. I think it was the Bengals that have gotten out in front of this. So like, we're going to play our guys. Like, I think teams are finally starting to figure out when we get to that sloppy part of the beginning of the season, like playing your guys in preseason could matter.
If you guys notice across the league last year, it felt like no NFL team took preseason seriously.
No.
Guess who started that? Guess who started that trend?
The Patriots.
No.
I don't know.
Sean McVay and the Rams. Where does Nick Caley come from?
Sean McVay and the Rams and the Patriots, who did put their guys out there.
Belichick believes in playing,
in
preseason.
So, and DeMeco Ryans did mention
they believe in playing some starters and minutes.
Last Saturday, DeMeco Ryans mentioned that he's ready to look, and he's ready, and he's looking forward to see those rookies go out there and letting it rip. So I think we will see those rookies out on the field, which is a good thing. I want to see, like you said, 2 to 3 drives. I want to see signs of life in that running game, but we need to see some swag from CJ Stroud. We ain't seen no swag from him, no smiling, no, none of that slight cockiness that we have grown to know that he has. And going up against, we're playing Minnesota. You know, I don't know what Minnesota defense is right now. We don't know.
Yeah, you do, because Brian Flores is over there coordinating. You know what Flores is going to do.
Father, forgive me. But so that's a good test. That's a very good test. That also is a team that embarrassed them in 2024. So hopefully they got some type of get back on their mind. But I want to see signs of life, man. I'm not looking for an all-out dominant performance, but I want to see 2 to 3 drives from the projected starters. I want to see on tape against somebody else why they're leaning towards Jake Andrews over Jared Patterson. But I got to see some life and swag from this franchise quarterback. Not looking for 200 yards, not looking for him to go 7 for 7, but I'm looking for him to have some type of energy about himself, because in my opinion, learning everything that he's had to learn has kind of made him a little bit lethargic as of late.
Stan, what you looking for?
I'm looking for the identity of this team to be what it's been through 11 practices or whatever it is. The bottom line is the defense is going to have to carry the mail for this team. I expect, whether it's the starters, whether it's the twos, Jalen Smith, the 3rd-round pick out of USC, has been playing really good football. It looks like he has solidified that cornerback number 3 spot. Okay, bet. I want to see these. EJ Speed's been running with the twos. Nick Neiman, a reserve linebacker that came over from the Chargers. It looks like he's been playing some good football along with Jake Hansen. They tell me Solomon Byrd coming off the edge has starting to really get some people's attention, given that he was, a 7th-round draft pick last year, I do believe, at the defensive end spot. So I want to see the starters go out there on defense. I'm okay with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. get you 3-4 reps of coming off the field. Those backups, those guys should be out there rolling. And I want to see those young guys grow up. Offensively, it should look a lot like practice looked today. A level of physicality, a level of commitment to the run game, and then C.J. Stroud could not be turning the ball over. And Davis Mills neither. Like, don't turn the ball over. Be good with your decision making. I'm not worried about the game looking sexy. I'm worried about the execution and the consistency in how you go about the operation. And a guy, guys that are on the bubble. Here's looking at you, John Mechie, Xavier Hutchinson.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Damian Pierce. I need to see some of those guys. What do we have in Luke Lachey? I need to start seeing Jakob Johnson versus British Brooks. Who's the kid they brought in today? They re-signed somebody today.
They brought in Dalton
King comes back. So I want to see some of those things. How does that operation look?
And Stan, I'm stealing this out of your playbook because you mentioned this the other day on Channel 11. Hey man, what that play calling look like? Certain situations, certain downs, facing certain fronts. What does that play calling from Nick Haley look like? This will be
Nick Haley has never called plays in an NFL game.
You know what I want to see out of him?
Figuring this out, seeing this live.
I want to see aggressive. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see scared. That's that. I'm not interested in scared in the preseason.
Set the tone right now. Like, even if you lose the game, this is preseason. It ain't gonna really count towards them, but set the tone right now. And I think every Texan fan watching this show or just in the city of Houston, no matter where you are, you should absolutely want to see this team set the tone. Don't come out there lackadaisical and
like going through the motions
effort out there.
Yeah,
don't do that, man.
The ball shouldn't be on the ground. It shouldn't be missed tackles. It shouldn't be, Brevin Jordan apparently dropped a wide open ball today by itself, dropped up. Like, those things cannot happen. Like, just dot the I's, cross the T's, be solid in the kicking game. Don't be Kansas City playoff, missing field goals and bleep like that, getting safeties. Like, no. Let's just have a clean operation.
You know what they should do, Stan, if they have any of those things happen on the field? Do you know what they should do?
You better not say push-ups.
I was going to say push-ups. Just give them 10 right there.
Don't even come off the field.
That is just so high school. That man making $14 million a year. You talking about a damn push-up.
He dropped a pass on 3rd and 3. Just drops right there. Just starts giving push-ups.
Yo, real
don't
talk,
even get up.
Yo, I really want to say this because we people, fans, and some people in the media, they just kind of poo-poo the preseason. Ask Ariante Ursary after Saturday afternoon, can he tell a big difference in practicing versus that defense? And I'm talking about the tempo. Now, the defense is humming, but they ain't going full speed. These boys from Minnesota, Jonathan Grenard and Van Ginkel and these boys over in Minnesota, they're going to be running for real. I want to see how these young guys and these inexperienced guys, how do they calibrate and compete when the speed ratchets up or not? I was thinking about Higgins and Noel, who by and large had great days today, both of them. They've never seen the speed of a game that they're going to see on Saturday. I want to see how do they
that. Have you ever watched a Big 12 game? It's the fastest league in the country. What are you talking about?
Y'all heard
all they do is spread it out and run, baby. It's a track meet.
Hey, so this is what I want to add. Second half of that game, I want to see a lot of Jawar Jordan. Second half of that game, I want to see a lot of Hutch and Mechie. And I want to see Mechie receiver, special team, because right now he is fighting for a spot. Second half of the game, there are some guys on their roster. Luke Lachey, I think, is one of them. For maybe the third quarter, we should see a lot of Brevin Jordan because he needs to get back up to game speed. We should see a lot of these guys get a lot of reps and snaps. And so I am going to do somewhat of a snap count to see who's out there and for how long, because that's going to be important as well.
The return game is also very important to me. I'd like to see Braxton Berrios. Can he consistently, whether it's him, whether it's Jalen Noel, we'll see, who's back there returning punts and kicks and what we can get done in that kicking game. But because we haven't seen a lot of it in training camp, they practice it. The practice I went out there to last week, they were looking good. It looked smooth. But again, preseason game speed is a different level from practice and scrimmaging against one another. So we'll see how all of it comes together.
It's going to be fun. All I know is that we've got actual football that is going to be played.
4 days in a row, starting on Thursday through Sunday, NFL preseason games.
Let's go.
Y'all ready? Y'all really ready or y'all just fake ready?
I'm ready.
Man, stop. Yeah, we do this thing.
I've been ready.
What's y'all favorite preseason moment of all time?
Oh, mine was always Camp Star LaStar Gene balling out.
Oh man, okay, that's a good one.
The ultimate Camp Star. I mean, that guy. Every year, you convinced yourself he was going to be the Arian Foster of the receiving corps.
I take Lester Gene and I raise you Charles James. I think James. Maybe he just was a. He was a. But my favorite of all time is actually Victor Cruz. I love what Victor Cruz did up in New York.
I don't have a favorite preseason moment.
Come on, man. Give us something.
I don't know, man. Like, I guess something that popped into my head the moment we saw CJ Stroud run out there with the ones on his rookie season, and I was like, franchise quarterback is on the field with the bull on his helmet. I felt damn good about that.
You know what I also used to love, and I miss this? When they would play, the Texans and the Cowboys would play in the preseason every year.
Oh, yeah.
They would actually play for the damn Governor's Cup in the preseason. Like, the game mattered. They get a trophy for a preseason game. Like, what are we doing here?
Awful idea.
Stupid. The worst. They don't do that anymore. I'm so happy that the preseason's only 3 games, though. We only got 3 games to watch, and then we can watch the actual football coming up after that. All right, you guys want to go ahead and give parting shots? You got anything for us to say goodbye to the folks today?
Of course. Go ahead, Hickman.
Follow me on Twitter at John_Hickman12. Got this fantasy Locked On Texans Fantasy League going. 14 spots, 6 have signed up. We're getting some more, and if I got to create another league, then I will. There will be a draft party, so I have those details as well. This is the most wonderful time of the year. Let's celebrate it together, Texas fans. Let's be reasonable. Let's have some fun. Let's also lose our mind. Order wings and pizza this weekend because we got football back.
I like it.
For that. You don't have to convince me to do that.
I got to do that. Ain't no convincing for that, huh?
Nope.
Yeah.
No, that's easy money. Well. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to say, and it's going to tie into over here in the comments section, and we appreciate all of you for supporting the Locked On Texans Squad show. I'm seeing some new folks, Dominique McAdams, some other folks, Mellow Mike, what's happening? But H-Town Sports, I'm going to fire some ire in their direction. Don't know if that's a him or a her, but it ties into a graphic I saw on social media. The fewest points per game allowed since 2000. And these are some of the historic defenses. A lot of people obviously saying that the Texans, they're going to go as far as the defense carries them. And I mean, do y'all remember the 2000 Ravens held opponents to 9.4 points per game? That's insane. That was 25 years ago. The 2002 Buccaneers, victory over the Raiders. You remember those guys.
Hold on. That was a 13.7?
12.3 for the Bucks.
Oh!
The 05 Bears that went to the Super Bowl and they came up short versus Peyton Manning. 13.6. Do y'all know? And H-Town Sports started listing off a bunch of defensive-minded head coaches that have won the Super Bowl. You got to go back to Pete Carroll's Legion of Boom, 2013, for anybody other than Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. So if you don't have those two, you know, they're arguably the best to ever do it in their respective situations. That means your defense is probably not going to win you a Super Bowl. So you're going to have to score some points on offense. Defense can hold serve. Drew Brees, 2009, that defense statistically wasn't great, but they took the ball away. They were very opportunistic on defense. So there's a point. Say that again?
Man, they weren't
what else were they doing over there?
They didn't have anything going on.
What else was going on in New Orleans at the time?
Y'all too, man. Something wrong with y'all too. So
they were historically great, all right. They were going to be remembered for history. I tell you that. We had a lotto system going on over there.
That's what I got. Defense can be good, but the defense alone won't be enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that they're elite, and then I hope that CJ Stroud really is. You know what I am confident in is that after this weekend, first of all, again, you guys join us. We'll be live when the game ends Saturday evening, right here on this channel. I'm looking forward to a weekend filled with. I'm just going to call him already. He's my dog. It's Jaden Higgins. That's my dog. And you know what? I'm thinking like at least 85 yards in his debut this weekend because he'd probably have like 50 on the first drive. And he's probably going to head top somebody, and it's going to be a good weekend.
So, Mike, you need to stop this, MC, because you're going to have people thinking I have something against Higgins.
No, I know you don't. Stan doesn't have anything against Jaden Higgins. I'm just going to be the ultimate Jaden Higgins fan until he proves me. Like, I'm going to be the president of the fan club. Hopefully it works out. I have no idea if it will or not. Well, hopefully. All I know is that hopefully, again, you guys will join us. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night. We'll be back again Saturday night as soon as the game ends right here on the Locked On Texans Squad Show.